Namaste, one and all. Pillar of protective white light. Right, I did a live on this a little while ago and the information was solid, message was good, but I realise with a live it's not going to be seen by as many people as it should be, as it could be, as I'd like it to be, right? So I'm going to try and put down in words in a video what I do, my interpretation of a pillar of protective white light, and go through the various forms that you may have heard of with protecting and grounding yourself, right? So, as all, everything is energy. We're bodies containing energy, and if we leave ourselves open, we're prone to having our energy stolen. Energy vampires, right, is something you would have heard of before. And by protecting ourselves, especially if we're empathetic, if you feel other people's energy as well, so you go to work, say, as I do, and feel the negative energy that's there, take it upon yourself and feel negative, there's a way to protect yourself from having this happen, and instead be able to emit a frequency of love, like a radio signal coming from you, which kind of bounces it away, not back at the other person, dissipates it, turns darkness into light, right? And reflects light back to them instead of mirroring back that darkness that they're sending you, right? So, as I said, there may be, we have attachments, and these attachments can go through time and space. So it could be from previous lives, they could be from this life, there could be something attached to you which is continuously draining you of your energy, like a hose being attached to the side of a water bucket and continuously draining away that energy. Now we're continuously being refilled, and we can do so at a whim if we know how. Our normal way of filling ourselves up is through food and sleep and whatnot, but there's a way to cut off those hoses so that we're no longer being drained, and there's various forms of protection. So pillar of white light is what I do, and I'll go through that. The next would be, I'd say, a cloak, and I see this almost like an invisibility cloak, right? So if you're feeling low and you need to rest, to hibernate, to be alone, to disconnect from everything in a way, you put on your cloak and darkness can't see you, but by covering yourself up, neither really are you connected to the light, right? And then there's the shield. So if you know that you're going somewhere particularly hostile and you're not feeling fully tapped in, perhaps you put your cloak on, you have your shield. They can't see. If anybody gets too close, you can deflect them away, right? The shield is to deflect. So it's like you're going into battle, you can have a sword as well. But I've learned, you don't need a sword, you don't need to hide. By doing what I feel I do, darkness can see me, but can't get close enough to do anything to me, because darkness can't exist within the light, right? So, grounding is always a key, always important. Keep yourselves grounded. Visualize yourself as a tree. Send your roots into the ground. Circulate your energy around. Pump out that old, stale water and bring in new, fresh water, being a body of water, right? Body of energy. And what I do, I did a demonstration on it, but the reason that I needed to redo it was because the sound quality was so poor, because I was quite far away. And right, so I'll do Kundalini kind of breathing, Qi Kung breathing, abdominal breathing, and start at my belly, and I imagine I bring my hands up and over and around, and I'm imagining as I do this, I do it in two ways. So I build up each colour of my chakra. So I start at each point, I visualise my base chakra and red, and I will bring a red orb of light up and around me and surround myself with it, and then bring it in to my base. And I'll do so for each chakra. And I will also do it with a pure white light. So what I'm doing here, which I didn't realise until after I did the previous video and then it clicked, I'm expanding my aura. I'm building out my energy. I'm harnessing energy and bringing it in, and I'm expanding my energy, my auric field, to as wide as I can reach. And that way, once I do my pillar of protective white light, it's like putting a glass tube almost over me to protect me. If my aura is small, my pillar's only small, and maybe there's some darkness which can reach in really quickly or can fire things through. And if there's only a small shield, small pillar to protect you from your internal being, your auric field, the way I saw it, the bigger it is, the more chance it's got to turn that darkness into light before it reaches your core being. So by expanding it, doing my pillar of protective white light, I'm able to walk through darkness, and darkness needs to move out of my way, because otherwise it will be extinguished and turned into light. They don't even come near me anymore. I haven't felt any darkness try to enter, try to take energy from me. And now that I believe I'm working for the light, you'd think there'd be even more on my back, right? Which they would be if I wasn't doing what I'm doing. And it's all through willpower, through mindfulness, manifestation. Believe it so, make it so. So I stand there, I hold my hand like this above my crown, and I imagine source energy flowing through me, like you'd see in a movie where the spaceship beam comes down to beam you up. Beam me up, source. But I'm not being beamed up, it's beaming down. And in doing so, it's beaming down love and light and information coming through my crown. I expand my auric field, and then I ask for a pillar of protective white light. And this pillar then slots over the top of it all. I stay connected to source through my crown. That can stay open, that connection, because I'm then shielded. If I open that connection and don't shield myself, things can come in and around. Yes, it may be light, but everything's dual, right? You don't want any entities coming in at free will, whether it's light or darkness. It's still not your choice. You're not aware of it, and it's not something which you want happening, because it's going to affect who you are. So you're not going to feel level and yourself, because you're not going to be. You're going to be having all these other things coming in, right? You may be attracting and vibrating at love and attracting that, but it's still, you need to stay you. You need to ground yourself and protect yourself, right? And then I ask Source and my guardian angels to provide me with a pillar of protective white light, to allow only those that wish me goodwill and genuine compassion and love to enter, and anybody that wishes me any form of ill will to be repelled. I visualize it coming down, and by doing so I know I can stay connected to source. I can emit love out and love can come through, right? But darkness cannot. And I say, anybody projecting darkness onto me, it just gets evaporated. And I don't even really notice it anymore. Whereas before I'd go out and people projecting darkness onto me, I'd see it straight away and I'd throw it back at them. I don't see it now. I don't see the darkness. They may see me, but they can't do anything to me. It's honestly, this journey is madness, really. The way I was a few years back, somebody would look at me bad, I'd want to jump on them and punch their head in, honestly. And now I don't even see it. Truth, you know. I'm just there, speechless for a minute there. So yeah, ask source, demand from source. All is energy. Create yourselves that pillar of protected white light. Until you build up your auric field enough, you'll feel it through doing this breathing exercise, this visualization exercise. Until you build up your energy enough, put your cloak on. Cloak's easy to put on. It's like a cloak of, it's like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak, right? And you can sit grounded, ground yourself to the earth, harness the energy from the earth, breathe in and out, be one with the earth. You won't be connected to source, but earth's energy is vast and great as well. And you can harness the earth, that energy from below you. And then when you're able, when you feel full enough and you build your auric field up enough, then you bring source energy directly through into you, emitting it out like a beacon, like radio waves, emitting out. Anybody who's on that frequency can tune in and see you. Anybody who can't, any darkness that's not tuned in, won't even be able to get anywhere near you, register that you're there almost even. They'll know you're there because they'll feel the frequency which is deadly to them. But again, that'll keep them away, right? And in doing so, I give thanks. I do my kind of, my mantra, I guess, that I've written down. And I demand that Source activate all strands of my DNA to allow me to become my greatest version whilst in this body, and to give me any signs along my way, to direct me as and where it is able and it feels that will be beneficial to myself and mankind. And again, the same with all of this. It's, if you don't look for it, you'll never see it. If you don't believe in it, it won't be true. You know, if you don't believe in magic, magic will never happen. Miracles come about because you believe it's so. People heal themselves of all sorts of illnesses because they believe they can. People do all sorts of amazing things because they believe they can. And I know this to be true now because I know who I was and how I was. And I know how I feel and who I am now. I'm the same person, but I'm a different version. And it's because I believe it so. I've made this happen. I've let go of fear. I've become what I wanted to be. And it's getting a little bit less weird every time, sat in front of a camera saying all this. It feels like I'm connected now, whilst I speak to you all, as opposed to talking to a camera, talking to a phone. This is the first video that I've done where I'm using the reverse facing camera, so I can't even see myself. I'm just speaking to a little lens. And this, I couldn't have done this a while ago because I don't like technology, as I've said, and talking directly to a camera without being able to see the person I'm talking to, even talking to myself on the screen on the other side was better. But this feels okay. You know, I know I'm doing it for the right reasons. Yeah, I hope that kind of helped, and if I can help any further, as always, please ask. Love and light, my soul tribe, you beautiful cosmic surfers. Until next time, Namaste.